Starting recording. Welcome to anyone watching. James is going to take a break and I'm going to moderate for the next 5 hours. And Shankar was just asking me what's on my mind. And there's a lot of ways I could answer that question. Definitely try not to do too much thinking about it, but really asking myself, how much what exactly do, like, my family does not feel particularly perturbed by this pandemic, and fortunately they're in, like, my parents both hold positions that they were not fired from, and my mom actually hasn't been working but has still been getting paid. She's a secretary at an elementary school, so that's an especially privileged position. Oh, Stephanie's got to run. All right, see you later. So my parents are very fortunate. My family is very fortunate, and I've been wondering what should we expect the worst of, like, what should we be prepared for exactly. And I've been feeling kind of responsible for I don't know, maybe being the slightly more paranoid one. Oh, John Raymer's here. Welcome, John. Good to see you. Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Good to see you, Nolan. Getting some rest?
Yeah. Jamin just took off. I'm going to be moderating for the next 5 hours while he gets some rest.
Got it. Okay.
So.
Good for you.
Yeah.
It's in good hands.
Thank you. Yeah, Shankar and I were just talking about, or I was sharing with Shankar that my family during this pandemic and is in a very privileged position, well, outside of the pandemic as well. And I've just been asking myself, well, what is it that that my family needs to be concerned about in the next year or so for themselves, and how can what should I be contributing to the conversation with my family that doesn't seem very perturbed by what's going on, at least relative to what other people are going through or will go through. So yeah, just kind of.
That's a good conversation.
Thank you, Nolan.
Yeah.
You know, they say it's problem setting. It's as important as problem solving. It's how you frame these questions that really determines what's possible. So it's clear you have this ambition to serve, Nolan. You have a vision, and you have a contribution to make to the family. It seems like you're bringing yourself forth in that role.
I'd like to do more of that for sure.
There's a skill. It's learning how to, it's like music for me. I'm a musician, you know, and how you play with other people is how you kind of find the pulse.
What do you play?
I play guitar,
Nice.
but I love to jam. And jamming is like an art unto itself where you don't necessarily know what you're going to play, but you find that rhythm and you find a way to turn what you have into what you need, you know, into a sound that's bigger than any one person.
Totally. I am I'm all about just I used to play in bands in high school, and I was really picky about music and didn't like any like there's pop music in all genres, and I just kind of didn't like pop music. And then I like changed significantly after that and started getting way more into just improvisation, even if it's something really simple, just getting into the groove of whatever. Suddenly became way more meaningful than
Yeah.
playing music off a sheet.
Yeah. Well, there's a guy I know who is a super well-known, successful rapper, and MTV and he said, "This is not the way I want to live my life and use my talent." He moved to Gandhi's ashram in India and started this project called Empty Hands Music. And he puts together the most inspiring music videos and songs. He just released one yesterday. I think it's already had about 10,000 views. You want to get your spirit uplifted here? So
Yeah.
about a week ago, he puts out a call. He says, "I need some photographs and images for this moment in time." So hold on, let me get you this. I think you'll love this guy. His name is Nemo Patel, and his stuff is amazing. And this is called Superhero. And I just put it out on my own Facebook stuff. Superhero. Okay, hold on. Nemo. Empty Hands. I think you'll really like this. Yeah, here we go. All right, you see. I want to make sure the captions are on because to hear the words is worth it. So hold on. Okay. Here you go.
Red cape on my back. I always wanted to be the best in my pack. I always wanted to be known to be good, to be the hero of my own hood. If I could just fly, I could save everyone. Stop all the wars so nobody's gotta run. All the killing, all the crimes, pain and suffering. It's getting tougher to be buffered from it all. Are we gonna make it through? Is he gonna fly back in? Cause if he don't come right now, I don't think good will win. Time is running out. Do we wanna wait for him? Or is it our time now to bring the good back in? We don't have to leap tall buildings in a single bound. There's a lot of good that we can do standing on the ground. We don't need a jetpack suit to take us to the cloud. It's up to me and you right here, right now. Superhero, na 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 na. The superhero, whoa, 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 whoa. Superhero, na 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 na. The superhero, whoa, 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 whoa. There's so much time it might change one life, yeah. Like giving a hug when somebody is down and feeding a soul when there's nobody around it. Small things that can change the sound and the vibe of the spirit that can change a town. And started small, now it's touched a crowd. The crowd is growing, now the word is out that if we all do our parts, we can touch the clouds. Without a cape and a mask, we can touch the clouds. Yeah. We don't have to leap tall buildings in a single file. There's a lot of good that we can do standing on the ground. We don't need a jetpack suit to take us to the cloud. It's up to me and you, right here, right now. Superhero, na 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 na. Superhero, oh, 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 oh. Superhero, na 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 na. The superhero, oh, 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 oh. It's the smallest things that make a difference, and all the power's locked within us. All we gotta do is find the key and turn the latch and set it free, yeah. We don't need to be fast and strong, cause a kind word can go a long way. Help someone whose faith is gone to get back up and carry on. Maybe it's too hard to understand, think it's too much for us to handle, but I promise you that you can, cause you don't need to be a Superman. We don't have to leap tall buildings in a single bound. There's a lot of good that we can do standing on the ground. We don't need a jetpack suit to take us to the cloud. It's up to me and you, right here, right now. Every superhero, feeding the soul when there's nobody around. Superhero, and the vibe of the spirit that can change a town. Superhero, the crowd is growing, now the word is out that if we all do our parts, we can touch the clouds. Without a cape and a mask, we can touch the clouds. Yeah.
That's awesome.
How good is that?
Amazing. Good.
You have to share that in the chat so I can.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's amazing. He's amazing. Nemo and Daniel, those two guys. We got a ton of them, but that was just a week ago that they put out the call for pictures of people with masks. And there you go. Superheroes. And seeing the firefighters cheering for the medical workers. That's sweet, huh? All right. Hello, Shankar.
Yes, John. How are you?
Good to see you. Where are you, my brother?
Yes, I am from Greenbelt, Maryland. It's not far from DC. And
that
I
United
attended
States?
your session, the Compassionate Games. Yes, and we shared it to the Climate Healers of DC page.
Fabulous. Thank you, Shankar. Survival of the kindest.
Yes.
Beautiful. And is that ProBook?
Oh, it's Melvin. He's on mute.
Melvin's on mute.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Melvin.
I'm checking out everything. It's very interesting. And I'm doing, got my grandchildren here.
Great.
Got them doing work, homework.
Got it.
Yeah, great seeing you here, Melvin. Like I met him in the event, the October 2019 Climate Healers.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Thank
So I've been waiting for your video to come out. Did it ever come out? Your video.
Mine or John?
That you did the video? No, I got you mixed up with someone else.
Maybe
Yeah, I think I
thinking
got
of
you.
Emery. Emery's been making quite a few videos.
Nolan, where are you?
Right now, I am in Vancouver, Washington.
Fabulous, fabulous. Is that where your family is?
One more page,
Yeah.
that other page.
Yep.
George Vancouver really screwed up this whole area. He put his name all over things. Vancouver Island, City of Vancouver, Vancouver, Washington. I'm in the Salish Sea, Whidbey Island.
Yeah, that's where I have a room up there, so that's where I'm going back to eventually. But I don't.
Nice, nice. Cool.
Okay,
Is that with Jamin or somewhere else? On the island?
Close to Jamin.
Okay, that's close to me because I'm close to Jamin too.
Yeah, yeah.
Max Welton Beach.
Oh, very nice. Cool. And how long have you been there?
Summer and I have been here. Well, Summer grew up here, my wife, but we've been here 3 years. We're here year round. We love it. South Whidbey's a really special place.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of it, but I mean, I've only been living there for almost 4 months now.
Okay, okay.
So I'm excited to get some sunny days in there.
Yes, yes. Well, you'll come to the beach.
Yeah. Yeah. So how'd you connect with the maker of Superhero?
Nemo. Okay, there's a guy named Nipun Mehta who is kind karma to like YouTube. And years ago, Nipun couldn't be on a broadcast I was doing. He said, but my friend Nemo can. And Nemo's got these amazing videos. I mean, that was just one he put together. They're so inspiring and uplifting. Here, you ready to be grateful?
Yes.
Let's be grateful for it all. And I think that, and he did one just for prayer recently, but hold on. And it's amazing how much gifted talent there is in the world. All right, here you go.
You're my life, you're my breath, you're a smile, you're my guest. You're the earth, you're the sun, you're the grass, you are love. You're my hands, you're a bug, you're my eyes, you're a hug. You're the light in the dark, you're the spark, you are fun. You're my mom, you are water, you're the stars, you're my daughter. You're my friend till the end, you're my dreams, you're my father. You're the ants on the ground, the miracles that surround. I'm feeling it all around, the hemisphere in the clouds. You're my pain, you're my sorrow, you're my hope for tomorrow. You're the strength when I'm hollow, you're the path that I follow. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss. The gift to realize that everything
all
is
that I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all, for it all. Grateful for
stop to take a bow and keep moving forward and start looking towards your heart. It'll open all the doors and only then you'll start to hear the world singing chorus with your mind and heart. Aligned in purpose, everything
All
will feel
that I
gorgeous.
all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all.
Every day I sit and pray cause what I have is more than I deserve or could ever imagine. How do I give back to all of this magic and spread the love so everybody can have it? Doesn't matter if I'm rich or poor, if I got a family or if I'm all alone. Bad things happen, I can just complain and moan, but there's a million things that I can be grateful for.
So I lift up my hands now, and I open my heart, and my gratitude goes out to everything near and far. All that I am,
Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss, the gift to realize that everything is a gift.
Wait, one more. This is for y'all.
all that I am.
All that I've been.
It's a blessing.
It's so amazing.
I am grateful for it all.
Awesome.
Really special, guys.
Wow.
I'm grateful to be able to share that.
Thank you for sharing it.
I'll put that one in there too.
Cool.
This is Melvin. That is beautiful. It's awesome. I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
I hope the world will
Empty
both.
hand music.
That's an aspect of collective intelligence is one word for, or one way of talking about something. You could use a bunch of different words to talk about, but I feel like music is kind of left out of the equation typically, but it's enormously transformative.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
I would say the music is the rhythm of the collective intelligence.
Right.
So all those echoes, buzz, or the pattern and the resonation eventually evolving as music.
Yeah. It's incredible what a one person or a small team of people can do just on a laptop.
Right. That's what it's become. This is a tremendous time to be alive. We are all connected. And we're standing in the precipice, the beginning of a new age. Somewhere between no longer and not yet. But things like what, Jamin's done here, saying, okay, I'll have a block party and new forms, new shapes for how we can find each other. Like, Silish's Climate Healers, this project now, K Mama, that's emerged. It's just a good example. And these are the stories we want to write right now. Crisis is a terrible thing to waste. And I know there's real suffering and a lot of people really hurting. For those of us that have the strength and fortitude to carry on, it's time to remake the world. So, anyway, that's why I came.
Well, it's really nice to hear you say that.
It's happening. There's an intergenerational equity, Nolan, too. It's so great that you're here because there's a responsibility for reallocation of resources to make sure that next generation has what they need. That's the traditional way. That's the natural order.
I feel like there's in this portion, in this part of the world where things are developing as rapidly as they are, there's an intergenerational gap that maybe it certainly hasn't existed in this way before, and it's accelerated, I think, profoundly by technology. And at the same time, like, I don't know, I guess it doesn't strike me as common that that younger folks would find themselves well connected to older generations in ways that I imagine is more normal in societies that have generally closer family units, in societies that don't just put old people away in homes, in like families that stick together and like really look after the elders. I think there's even through just YouTube, there's an interesting like internet parent phenomena happening between, take like Jordan Peterson and a lot of especially young men, which I think is really interesting. because in the past, Jordan Peterson might have just written a book and then some young person 20 years later reads it. But now it's like, catch up with Jordan Peterson on what he's doing immediately. And the opportunity with the video conferencing is, with video conferencing and the integration of some more, I know it can freak some people out, but I'm personally very excited about the potential for the use of artificial intelligence with very careful while being very careful and protective of people's rights to own and use their own data as they wish. I think that, I mean, we're seeing like the tip of the iceberg as far as I'm concerned with how beneficial these technologies can be. I mean, like Facebook is just Facebook is an unsophisticated machine that is like, relative to what I'm imagining, it's unsophisticated and built for the wrong reasons. And if you think about something more sophisticated that's integrated with video conferencing, that is built for the right reasons, you know, one of which is like connecting people not just to a Jordan Peterson that they watch and listen to, but to their personal Jordan Peterson that they actually have a relationship with. I think there's going to be a lot of, I imagine a lot of relationships being formed this way through the internet.
Now, Nolan, teach me. Is Jordan Peterson the author from Canada, or who is Jordan Peterson?
Yeah, he's, I'm actually not sure if he's still a professor at the University of Toronto.
Right. Okay, that's the one. I'm looking at him here. What about him attracts you to him? Is it because of the way he's using YouTube to augment the books, or what was it that you found interesting there?
Well, I guess what attracted me to him is is a little basic, at least at first. I think what attracted a lot of people to him was that he was a kind of counterculture intellectual some 4 years ago, when it seemed like the media, especially the media in my age group, seemed to be very, I guess one way you could put it is overly PC, and to the point of, I don't know, he just kind of, he busted in there and really stirred things up with very rigorous argumentation, super articulate, kind of has a bite to him, but in a very admirable way. And I mean, necessary way, I would say. And so he had a number of interviews on different news channels around that time, 3-4 years ago, where they would get him on live television and set him up basically as if he just hated like as if he hated people that were a part of these like LGBTQ communities, and kind of using him as a I don't know. I just found his responses to what I considered really this kind of deceiving. Like, he kind of took this virtue signaling culture and challenged a lot of the ideas that had become just stale in people's minds and used to shut people down and not have genuine conversation. So, I mean, that attracted me at first, and then I looked into him some more, and he has like, one of the things I really enjoyed is I've listened to parts of a series he has where he works through the Bible, and I like it because it's the most rigorous analysis of biblical passages that I've ever encountered. I'm sure there are lots out there, but I coming from I would go to church with my family up until maybe 14 years old, and I was never into it in the sense that I never chose it or discovered it on my own. And so he was someone that helped me see more extremely legitimate value in the book, in the religion. So I don't know how familiar you are with him, but he's
Not at all. Not at all. This is the first. That's why I'm looking. I'm seeing while you're talking. I've found a couple of references to him, his Wikipedia page and his book, 12 Rules of Life. And yes, well, you know what? One of the indigenous teachers once shared with me that we're each 3 lines. There's your bloodline. There's your storyline. You know, your challenges, your choices, your outcomes. But then there's your milk line. And your milk line is what is fed you. Like in the music world, your inspirations, you know. But thinking is inspired by other people. This guy is part of your milk line.
totally.
And I found that a very healthy, good frame to get to know people. But not just our bloodlines, but also our storylines, you know, what's led us to where we are, as well as, you know, who are those influences that have affected who we are and have fed who we are.
Yeah, one thing that I mean, this is already happening to a certain extent, but I could see it happening more is the recommendations based on, like, recommendation algorithms based on these things you're talking about. I think we have these separate platforms for music and podcasts and what have you, but I like to I like to geek out about what you could do with the integration of those things. Which, yeah, again, I know it's kind of
No, you're right, Owen. We're really at a moment when the augmentation of yourself. There are some things that these devices are more intelligent than we are. So we have to reimagine what is it to be a human? What's our unique and original contribution? But it's so obvious, if I'm going to go somewhere, I'm checking on Google Maps. They know things I don't know. They somehow know the traffic patterns. These are things that I just no longer think it's mine to do. I've kind of surrendered certain tasks, and yet, it's the question of our age: is what is a human being? What is ours to do in all this? And it's not so clear, but certainly the relationship with these devices is changing everything. Like, for instance, this contact tracing stuff, right? So if you've been exposed to the virus, they can now check your cell phone data and the cell phone data of everybody else to see who you might have come in contact with. I think that's profound. Now, it brings out all these ethical issues of privacy and transparency and everything, but it's a new world. And the idea that these recommendation engines, which they've perfected to be able to, give you other options on what to buy, could also be used to give you other recommendations on what to read or who to listen to. If you like that, and we see a lot of that now. It's getting better and better with all the feedback. These devices, it's just amazing how these tools are just getting better and better and better, faster and faster. I, like you, am humbled by what's possible. I think the science fiction writers are complaining they can't keep up. The rate at which we go from fiction to fact is...
Yeah. That's a weird thing to think about is how, like, I don't know if maybe you can relate to this feeling that are you gonna head out?
No, I was going to say, I just wanted to say something.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I'm old school. I could barely use my mouse. Okay, I just learned how to text not long. And Stephen Hawking was my main one of my people I admired much. And I'm just old school, okay? I tell my daughters, if I have a little small business. If I had enough money, I wouldn't have a cell phone. I just don't like the idea of a cell phone. I would have my old rotary phone. People want to contact me. Stephen Hawking said we shouldn't go down AI, and he's true, but they're going to take us over. We face a lot of challenges and dangers. We know that climate change is one, and this corona and other viruses. But AI is another one. One of the guys mentioned these machines think better, and that's what Stephen Hawking said. They're going to take over. And it's going to happen. You might be here, but I won't. I don't think there's an ethical way to use AI. But the genie is out the jar. And it's not going back. What humanity is going to look like in another maybe 10 years to 25 years, it's for me, it's gloomy. It really is. Because you can see how the financial elite, the people who really control mainstream technology, what they're doing with it too, you know, for nefarious purposes. So I just wanted to throw that in about AI. I'm scared of it. I am righteously afraid of it. I'm telling you the truth. I'm righteously afraid of most technology because it is mostly used for nefarious reasons. And the good people who want to use it for good purpose are outgunned, outpowered, outnumbered, and everything. Just like right now, the powers that be, they could shut us down. And we can't even see each other if they want to. Right? I mean, it's internet. Am I right? I mean, they could say, okay, we don't really like what those people talk about and we want to shut them down. Is that powerful? Is that strong? So I just want to say that, you know, as we're going forward, we really need to really think much about the use of AI. Because in the wrong hands, we doomed. We really doomed in the wrong hands. And how do you? So you have to come up with something that could counter that. And you have to come up with some other form of violence that's stronger than that violence, or some way to undermine that. Then they come up with something to undermine you, and it's just a vicious circle. That's how I go on with AI. Just want to put that out there. I struggle with using Zoom to get on, but I just about got it down now. I got it down now. But thank you for listening.
Now, do you know, Melvin, you could switch the views on Zoom between the gallery view and the speaker view in the upper right? We're all not seeing the same thing.
Yeah, I'm learning how to use different features of it. Yeah, like I'm in gallery. Yeah.
See, if you
and I know how to.
Yeah, so if you click, and it'll say speaker view when you click on that, and whoever's talking, they're the main focus. And you could pin those folks there. You can spotlight those folks. We do breakout rooms. We've had hundreds of people online.
Really? Well, I'm just learning that stuff, and I appreciate everyone's patience with me, and I really like this forum, Collective Intelligence. I really like a lot. I'm mostly going to listen because you guys are really, I really appreciate and respect the messages that I hear coming from everyone, and especially where you're at in life. You know, we all want to make this world a better and safer place for us all. And I think we're all doing it as best as we can with what resources that we have. And I listen, and a lot of the things you guys say on the technology stuff, I said, wow, I wish I could really understand that stuff. But it's interesting. I mean, I got the overall concept of what you be talking about, but then the details of it, I say, man, that stuff is brilliant. But thank you.
Hey, you know, guys, there's a technology. It's called Shabbat. I don't know if you've heard it. It's also known as the Sabbath. And this idea, you take 24 hours and you just turn it all off. So I'm going to go. I'm going to turn my computer off and just do a little bit of nothing. But I promised Jamie I'd come back, tell him I said my best. Nolan, it's great to be with you. You, Shankar. I saw James put a thumb up before. I don't know if he's here, but everyone else, thanks for letting me spend some time with you.
Thanks for coming by. I
Yeah,
always
yeah,
appreciate what you have to contribute.
for sure. For sure. Look forward to more. We're not done yet.
Yeah.
There we go, James. Thanks for that. All right, guys. Bye for now.
Sleep talking.
Well, Melvin, I'm very intrigued by your thoughts around technology and AI. And
You know, my views might be kind of jaded because I have not seen how it benefited the poor, the masses. You look at India, you look at China, you look all over the world for people of color. You look all across Africa. You look here in America. I don't see where it has benefited. It may have, no, even in Africa, it hasn't even, I don't see how it made anything. I see how it is made, it has divided, conquered, and ruled and made it more efficient to oppress and exploit ill. I just don't see, I know if it was used for the benefit of mankind, humankind, it would be a wonderful thing. It would be wonderful if technology was used for the greater good of humankind. So I guess I have mixed feelings about it, huh? Mixed views on it. You know, Sailesh, I met Sailesh a few years ago, and he told me if he knew that the internet was going to be used like it was, he never would have shared what he invented. He said to myself, he said, but eventually someone else would have figured it out. You know, and Einstein said the same thing. If he knew, he would have never let it out. So, you know, but the genie is out the bottle. And we got guys like you, Nolan, and like you, Shakar, you know, smart, you know, young people whose heart is in the right place and trying to take the technology to a level where it will benefit humankind. You know, just simple technologies in countries in India and Africa just could eradicate poverty and the suffering and the diseases overnight. Overnight, you know, for water, for growing food, for clothing, for shelter, just simple technologies could really improve quality of life for humanity overnight. But unfortunately, the powers that be are very, very powerful, and any semblance of a threat to that power, a real threat, smashed like a bug. There's no democracy. You know, it's an illusion of democracy, just an illusion. You know, and what we're doing, we're able to do it right now because the powers that be don't feel really threatened. There's all those little folks over there just, they're not going anywhere. They don't feel really threatened because they got their scientists, they got their intelligentsia in their universities, and everybody doing their science to support and perpetuate the empire. And what we are really doing, we're striking against the empire. You know, we're striking against the empire. We really, I think, should be very conscious about it. We're striking against the empire. So I guess I've been jaded about technology because the people of the world overall have not benefited from it. You know, when you get out of so-called Western industrialized countries, really haven't benefited. Look what it's done to China, Lord. Good boogity woogity. You know what it's done to India? Oh my goodness. Mumbai. This gods and farmers were once living robust, healthy lives, loved getting up farming and had water and did what they did, and now they're in the damn city living in filth. Filth.
I think if the basic things are taken care of for the people, like all the passionate people can be passionate however they want, but if the basic things are taken care of, at least people won't fall prey, or people don't go like unsettled, or that, because first is when you know that you're gonna get what you basically want, you're not gonna rebel, you're not gonna you're just gonna be calm, because that's one of the thing also they're saying, like keep your immune, like don't get stressed.
Don't get stressed.
Yeah, just connect with the nature, and you'll get you want. Like this is not the time for a peak achievement. Not looking for those graphs to go up in a performance, but just to say it comes once in 100 years or once in a century.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I shared the photo, Melvin, the photo that we all took together, photo with Jamin.
Yeah.
You can share if you want.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Good.
All right, let's see.
Rolling with Nolan.
All right, so here is the first one.
Wow. Hey. Yeah, there you are. Yeah, that's the guy who made the video that we saw.
Yes.
Yeah, I was with him. He made a video.
Yes. I remember, like he was talking in the video.
Yeah.
I think he's from Portland.
Yeah, now that just amazed me how you just went there and pulled that up. That's magic to me.
Yeah. I used a little bit Nolan's strategy of the artificial intelligence. Like in a good, right? This is a good use, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing if it's used for the good of humans, for the good of it's amazing. It's just wonderful. Wow.
Here, I'll pull up the second one here.
Look at that.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Jamin was explaining something at that time. Have you was like laughing and chatting?
Very nice.
Yep. Thank you, Nolan. Yes. Thank you, Milman.
Yeah, it was a nice photo. I paid this guy to remodel my kitchen. And he did about a C job. So I'm trying to get it to where I want it to be. But I learned a good lesson. You don't give them the money until your job is done to your satisfaction.
Hmm. Well, Melvin, I'd like to reassure you a little bit that there are technologies that exist now and are under development that would mean that no superpower like Facebook would have everyone's data and be able to sell that to advertisers, that it could be much more of a it's owned by you, it's only on a physical device you have, or it's somewhere, it's off on a server somewhere that's trusted and secured, but it's not all in the same place, everyone's data under control of the same people. I think that Facebook, and especially Facebook, is I like to think that we will look back on it one day and we'll just go, oh, what were we thinking, but we had to go through that, I guess. The key is people just have to adopt these things. You can't force people to use a technology that, even if it is going to be better for a bunch of users to switch from Facebook to whatever, you can't just make everyone use that technology. And in some, there's a lot of cases where these technologies have been designed, and if everyone was using them, it would be fantastic, and it would be way better than everyone using Facebook. But people don't know. Not that many people are using them. So
what's the alternative to Facebook?
Did you ask what's an alternative?
Facebook.
I don't actually know of anything that's trying to be a replica of Facebook, but decentralized. I personally barely use Facebook. I think I imagine I use it like a lot of people do today, which is just to have some place to connect to people, because
Yeah.
it's like everybody's on there. So,
Mhm.
and it's a pain for people to be on all these separate platforms, and you have to, oh well, this person, they only use this platform, and so that makes, being social with them, I don't know, it's a there needs to be a diversity to fight the monopolies like Facebook, but at the same time, it defeats a lot of the convenience factor and I don't know, the shared experience.
Let me ask a question like Facebook, all of this is tied to the satellites, right? For Facebook to be all over the world, is satellites sending transmissions all over the world. Is that true?
Well, I mean, there's a lot transmitted over satellites. Um, like Facebook is sending a portion of the information that's sent over satellites.
What other way does it get transmitted other than satellites? Like from me to you. Is that a satellite doing that? Doing this?
No, it's probably just cable.
Cable, really?
Or I don't know, maybe that's not the right word, um but some kind of uh hardwired connection ultimately. I mean, they have they have cables like running across the ocean.
Yeah. That's fascinating. That is fascinating. It's just fascinating. Now, where are you at, Nolan?
I'm in Vancouver, Washington.
Oh, you're down the street, really.
Where are you?
In Tempe, Arizona. I was just joking.
Oh.
I was thinking in another country. I mean, we're like in Bombay, or way in England someplace.
Yeah.
Okay, Vancouver.
Yeah,
That's why I said down the street.
you only make a joke like that in 2020.
Oh yeah, so it could be cable. Yeah, I just thought it was all satellite. That all this transmission was via satellites.
Well, I know Elon Musk is working on a project he calls Starlink,
Mm-hmm.
I believe. That's basically what you're thinking, with the goal to be giving everyone in the world internet access, because we're at the point where technology evolved to the point where it makes more sense to be giving people internet access over satellite in some areas than trying to build
Mm-hmm.
this other infrastructure. So that guy alone, I mean, he doesn't do all the work for Tesla and SpaceX, but the amount of insane innovation around him is pretty incredible. That being said, I think he could be maybe a little more focused on. He seems a little future centric,
Well,
in my taste.
also about, I don't know, I could be wrong, but all that innovation is really about conquest and trying to make a profit. It's within that framework. Who could be here first so we can stake this here, or how can we turn it down? I could be wrong, but that's the dynamic, that's the motivation for Musk and Tesla and all these guys. Their innovation is not, how can we make the world a better place for us all? So it's really, I'm not like to say techie, but it's really constraints and confinements on their innovation and everything, because they're trying to figure out a fucking way they can make this here and make a dime, or they can make steak, or they can be the first one to put the steak down, say, hey, I got here first, rather than saying, man, let's bring in all these ideas and see how we can grow this here thing for the benefit of humanity, and just open the door. Because if they have an idea and you take it up there and say, hey, this is a great idea, and they're up there and say, yeah, it might be great, but it can't turn a dollar. Throw that shit out. You know, I think one of the things that made Google what it is today, they let them young guys come in like you and say, hey, fix this shit, make it work, and pay them a lot of money. I think that's what made Google what it is. They just brought young guys in there, sharp guys, and said, hey, this is what we want to do, hook it up, and didn't bother them. Just let them just do what they want, just do it. And that's why Google is what it is today, because they really let innovation and creativity flow. Most of our scientific research today is all about conquest and turning a buck. All the pharmaceuticals, everything they do is about conquest and how to turn a buck. Who could remain in a position, a dominant position, or remain control, and that there fetters really innovation, in creativity, innovation, spontaneity, you know, being genuine and honest. It really feathers it. I've worked in places where, I swear, that's why I'm so glad I worked for myself. I couldn't work for anybody. I think I'd just rather just be homeless or be I don't know. I've worked in places where the best ideas that could have made the company just blow up were suppressed, were fired, were just punished and everything else, because it didn't fit the model for them to make a profit and to stay the top dog. The top dog. It didn't fit it. You know, everybody know about Tesla, the car innovator. They got rid of this guy because why? Because he was making something really easier, simpler, you know. And they say, hey man, we gotta get rid of this here guy. You know, can't have this guy around. And they played him off as a nut and took his stuff. So that's the problem with Musk and all of those guys. They are, in essence, they are oppressors. They're conquistadors of the modern era. Conquistador of the modern era. Well, that's my thought about them.
Well, I definitely see what I was trying to get at by saying he's future centric is I feel like trying to make the species go interplanetary is premature in the sense that we haven't got our situation on this planet figured out. Like, it's super cool. I love the idea of us going out and exploring space and these technologies evolving that he's working on. I think it's awesome. I think it would make a lot more sense if we had the like bottom of the Maslow's hierarchy for the entire planet just totally nailed down. Like, you know, I don't know. I think the priorities there are I mean, I don't know. Different people are working on different things, but it definitely seems silly to be going for Mars.
Have you ever heard of Codes for a Healthy Earth?
Shelley and Jan.
Yeah. They nailed it. Aspire to do no harm. Align all of our thoughts, our words, and our action with that which is nourishing to the entire community of life. See, Elon Musk, those guys, that narrative, that story is garbage to them. They'll spit in your face. They'll throw you out the office. They'll have security to remove you. Them men are dangerous for humanity, for humankind. They're really dangerous. Bill Gates, all of them, they're really dangerous human beings for humankind. You know, Codes for a Healthy Earth, they would burn that stuff like where the people burnt the Bible and burnt like the Catholics burnt everything. They would burn it because it's not in alignment with their aspirations to be the dominant species on it, to be the privileged. They just want to control everything. And that's an aberration in itself. That's a form of mental illness. To want to have dominion over everything, all this power. It's a form of mental illness. At least, I think so.
When I look at Musk, I definitely see I still see something incredibly immature.
Yeah.
And it like a complete like lack of, like, he seems way too like trying to be logical and analytic and like just like, I don't know, he's clearly not very emotionally intelligent.
You don't have any compassion. Maybe for if he got a little son or daughter, he might have compassion for. He don't have this here inclusive compassion. See, Elon Musk is the same type of person would hook up with Hitler if Hitler was around and he thought that, oh, this gonna make me greater. Shit. He would hook up with it. With the quickness. They're very dangerous people.
I wonder how much of that is the position they're in, how much of I don't know. I wonder what Musk was like before, PayPal is what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Before PayPal, I wonder.
Yeah. That's a good question, because I think that, they say money, let me see what that is. It said money don't make a person, but money brings out of a person who that person really is. Sailesh had, I think, with 2.4 billion dollars in 2009, 2008. He could have went back into Sailesh. He could have went back in there and made another pile of money. I think that, I'm looking myself. I'm struggling like most people. I have a business, and I cut people a lot of breaks, but I wouldn't cut people breaks if to cut them a break mean that I couldn't take care of my family. That bothers me. One of the reasons why I like what Climate Healer so much, and the story that Sailesh is telling, because Sailesh and Shelley and Jameson, they really put their hands on the root of the problem. When Sailesh talked about the greatest transformation, the transformation we have to make, then those 7 core shifts that we have to make, and right down there we have to, from a profit, money-driven economy to a service-driven economy. Until we do that there, people like Eli Musk, everybody, is just all the ideas, everything that we want to do. Until we get to that point, we have a service-driven economy. Nothing else is, we'll just be like spinning our wheels. Truly. Because long as the current, now I want to say spinning our wheels. I want to retract that there. The struggle will be more protracted. Because everything is driven by the banking industry, banks. They set the whole tone, the parameter, cultural standard, business transactions, personal transactions, social and cultural value come from banks, from loaning money. It comes from that one thing. And that's one thing that Sailesh really nailed. And, and Shelley with the codes for a healthy earth. They really nailed that, start having that conversation, because we all say we want to change, we want to make things, but what type of, how do we want to organize ourselves as a society? We don't want to go back organizing ourselves in the same way, the banking system. That's what happened in all the revolution in India, all in Africa, all in Latin America, Central America. They had these changes, but they left the same infrastructure in there that the colonizer had. So the colonizer was small, he's smart. He said, oh shit, let them go in there and do it, and you could just sit back over here. And you had the same infrastructure. So these African leaders went in there and they became the oppressors. They became the exploiters of their own people. Same thing in India. So we have to change the money system. That is a must, And like I said, it bothers me that I wouldn't cut people breaks if it meant that I couldn't support my family. And that bothers me a lot, that I live in this type of world. And when people come to me, they need to get back to work. And if I cut them breaks, but if it meant that I need your money in order to pay my rent, I'm not gonna cut you a break. You're not gonna go back to work. I don't like that. So if he can't go back to work, what's gonna happen to his family? What's going to happen to his mortgage payment? But because I'm doing okay, I can say, hey, you could pay me some up front, and then once you get back to work, we'll make out a payment plan, and they'd get them back to work, and they stick to the payment plan. Few haven't stuck to it, but most have stuck to the payment plan, and they get back to work. So what brought Elon Musk into existence is this economy, this culture, this rapacious culture of greed, of your identity as a man, your strength, your might, your glory, your fame, your identity, who you are special is the bigger pile, the biggest pile of money you have. And it really don't matter how the fuck you got it. Don't matter as long as you have a big pile of money. You look great. Don't matter how you got it, as long as you have a big pile. So when one of the, I really like Will Tuttle. We all know Will. He put a question out there that I asked a lot of people. And I did this here at the Martin Luther King event. They asked me to speak, say a few words. I was really honored that they did. And the title of my little presentation, I got it from Will Tuttle. He said, what is required for food to be on your plate? When you think about what is required for food to be on your plate, it is an ugly, very painful, and destructive process for food to be on our plate when you look at it. When you unravel it, you start unpeeling that onion, you start looking at it from a system perspective, not from a reductionist perspective. It is an ugly process, what it takes for food to be on our plate. So my question was, what was required to bring MLK into existence? When you look at it, it's a very painful and ugly story. It started with the African slave trade and all the horrors of that and the horrors of American slavery. 260 years in here in the United States where Black people were actually held in chattel bondage, where your worth was a cow or a chicken, a pig. Literally, you were really put on auction blocks naked. And they look on every crevice in your body, men, women, and children, for 260 years. And then the horror that, and then at the end of that, there's the history of Jim Crowism and Black Code laws and discrimination and all that went on for another 160 years, where you couldn't even move off you. That's what brought Martin Luther King into existence. So when you look at Elon Musk, what was it required for him to come into existence? When you peel back that onion and you look at it, it's not pretty. It is not pretty. It's very painful and sad story when you look at what brought him into existence. When you look at Amazon, Jeff Bezos, what was required? When you look at Walmart, out of here. I have to get an early start in the morning. I'm gonna go do I'm doing a gardening. I rented some space. And there's a really neat places called Spaces for Opportunities, where it's a community, a lot of people out there just growing their own food. And I really like this place because people are so nice, and everybody have this common reason for being there, and just so helpful and friendly. It's just a nice space to be in. So I took my grandchildren with me there last week, and I was just so impressed with my young grandchildren. They ranges from 7 to 13. And let me tell you, they were working like grown-ups. It was 3 of them. They were working like grown folk, pushing wheelbarrows, digging shovels, and I mean, they needed no prodding. I mean, I was just, and people were just watching us, you know. And it was a whole family that was out there, you know. And my daughters were out there. They was out there with shovels, and we was all out there. The family was really quite a spectacular and moving event, phenomena, you know. But seeing my grandchildren, I didn't know they could work like that they would work like that. I mean, they was out there working with shovels and wheelbarrows, and I mean, they did work. We worked, I guess we was out there a good about 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours. So that's what I'm going to do in the morning. So you guys carry on.
Well, thanks for being here.
Hey, Nolan. Rolling with Nolan.
Yeah.
Good conversation tonight. I hope you get some good rest before your
Well,
work day tomorrow.
I am too, Nolan. You're. I really have a lot of admiration for you, man. You know, when I was a young guy, I was as clever as you are. Not so much clever, but balanced and mature. And that's the thing. You have maturity and balance. The cleverness, a lot of people got that. But that maturity and balance that you have, that's what's make you golden, bro. Also your heart. You have compassion. Okay, Shankar, thank you very much, brother, for sharing. Okay. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Yeah.
Good morning. Hey, what's going on, Mera?
Where is Jamin at?
He is sleeping.
Oh, so you're in charge, Nolan? Oh my goodness, that's a big responsibility.
I know, I have a hard time talking as much as Jamin.
You get used to it.
Yeah.
You're doing awesome, Nolan. You're doing awesome. He connects at a frequency. He brings on.
So is this like an agreement you guys had that you were gonna take over the night?
Yeah,
Or he was tired?
I'm here from like 9 p.m. so like an hour and a half ago to 2 a.m. So he'll be back in like 3.5 hours.
That's good.
What about you, Mara? Like you're awake, or you just woke up in the middle, or you're like, I don't know what time it is. I'm in the Eastern time zone. It's 1:40 a.m.
Yeah, that must be hard to wake up and to know that you're going to be opening the same page. and wondering who's going to be logged in to have a conversation.
Well, the nice thing is you can kind of lurk on Twitch if you want and see who's chatting.
So Shankar, that pineapple, were you eating it today?
Oh yeah, it was for dinner.
Oh my God, I'm just thinking about it. It made me hungry. I had to order chipotle. I don't have no pineapples to make that rice, but it sure made me hungry. It opened up my appetite.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I mean, I was wondering, like my girlfriend gave another idea. She gave why don't you do? I was like still thinking, what are the fruits we can do? But in Thai or Vietnam something, they make one with mango. They mix the mango and the rice. Then they put a milk, but we can use soy milk or almond milk or something with little sugar. It tastes so good, that mango with the rice. And possibly if you have probably some sweetened yogurt you can add, like plant-based. So that's another combination. So I was thinking next time probably I'm gonna put the mango with the rice inside, probably scoop the seed out. Yeah. Actually, there's one dish we make in India, I remember. You make like a soup, in that you put the mango, and it gives awesome taste. So, and that soup mango.
And you know what? That is such a good idea of just using a pineapple as a bowl. The only way that I find the pineapple stuffed, it was with other type of fruits. Like I will cut mango and watermelon. What else? I don't know what else, but in the Mexican culture, we like a lot of spicy. So we would just put like spicy, like powder. I don't know if you were familiar with the one that's called, oh my God, what is it called? There's one that they put at the, like on top of the beer. When you order a Corona, then there's times when they put like a salt or chili powder.
The margarita something.
I don't know if it's the margaritas or Coronas.
I don't think alcohol, so I'm clueless.
Yeah, I don't drink. I don't drink right now, but I used to drink.
Yeah.
Not that I was a drinker or alcoholic, but I would drink when I would just have a girls' night out. But yeah, when we make fruits or just little things like that, we do make like appetizers, and then we'll put some different types of chilies. We like to sacrifice our tongue a lot.
No, that's okay.
But today when I saw that rice, oh my God, it looks so delicious.
Yeah. The rice was surprise to me because it kind of, I have the air fryer, so it kind of cooks so fast. So, and I want that thing juice to get in, but it worked on the sides. The side was sweet. Okay, and I made a little hot, so rice was hot, like a taste wise. Then the top all got kind of roasted. It almost like a puffed rice. So it was good. Usually, if the rice is roasted, if you taste it, it won't that good. But it was already like a fried rice, so it absorbed all the spices. So then the roasted part was unexpected, and that was good.
So basically, you prepare the rice and then you just pour it in there like if it's a bowl. It's not like you put it in the oven for a few minutes, nothing.
Like what I did is it's a fried rice. You just saute separately. So you're making rice and making sure the rice is like what you call fluffy, not sticky. Then you kind of slowly saute the spices first, like the mixed vegetables, pepper, soy sauce, and everything kind of it. Then I put little rice and I saute. Then I put I don't use oil. So I add a little more rice, saute. Now it all mix evenly. Then you take it and you put it. Then I Only I was baking the pineapple a little bit. Then I took it out. I put all that slice, stuffed it, and I kept it. So that the spices. Maybe if you close the lid, I cannot close the lid. I don't have that much space in the air fryer. But that's good, right? It roasted. That was a tasty.
Right. That's good. Where are you originally from?
Originally, I'm from India.
Okay. Yeah, no wonder why you like spicy too.
I'm
But
like,
your type of spicy is different than the Mexican kind.
I'm like I'm still not. I'm exploring vegan food in my life. That means you can tell there is so many things that just by India itself I have not explored. If you put the whole culture, oh my God, amazing. So much to learn. Like, yeah, my favorite in the Mexican is the
Oh no, stop doing this.
okay.
Yeah, the fajitas, I usually make them with tofu.
Oh.
And I put like all the colorful types of bell peppers, like the orange, the yellow, the green one, and the red one. And then a lot of purple onions. And I let the tofu get a little bit fried, kind of like chicken in a way. And it tastes delicious. And then I make a red salsa, Mexican salsa on the side. I can't believe I'm getting hungry again.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite is the beans, like the beans on the taco or beans on the thing. But sometimes, I mean, I make it at home. In fact, I was actually munching the tacos before eating the pineapple rice. But if I stop by Taco Bell, sometimes I pick on the way. My favorite dish is very simple. I ask for a side of beans. That's all, and it is 70 cents or something. And it really, if it's cold, oh, they give you. I ask them a little warm, so they really give you hot almost. And you eat it, it's like, oh, you don't need cheese, you don't need anything. Just by itself, it's a world. And sometimes I ask them to put jalapenos in the and the beans and jalapenos mixed. Oh my God. So you get this only for $1 then. In fact, beans is our like a champion food. And I love the other one too, but I had to get it without butter. Like it tastes like one of the Indian food. They make a dessert called they fold the corn. Forgot its name. It's kind of like a grainy sweet. It's like a grits, but it's kind of sweet. They give it in that corn. What do you call that? I don't know. What do you call that leaf or what's around that husk or something? Got its name. You know? Anybody know?
Shell.
Yeah, I don't know what's the name of it.
Find it.
Nolan, how long have you been vegan for?
Well, I would say probably about 6 or 7 months now. I have been I will eat. I've eaten eggs, and I'll get or I was getting before the virus outbroke, I was getting some local eggs from a small farm on Whidbey Island. But yeah, about 6 or 7 months. I can't remember. I can't remember when exactly I shifted over, but because my brother Evan had been for a while, and he got me thinking. But I think Silas and his community are really what pushed me over the edge, so to speak. I still haven't watched, like, I know there's a decent amount of documentaries, but I actually haven't. Well, no, I watched Countdown to Year Zero. Is that what it's called? The one of the recent documentaries that Silas was featured in. I watched that. It's kind of the only thing. And I've talked to some like vegan activists that they're actually standing outside of they're in downtown Portland, and they had like some small TVs, and they were standing in a circle, and they were playing videos from inside these massive factories, and so that was pretty impactful too. So yeah, there's
Did you start a vegetarian, or did you just went straight vegan?
The really the only the primary, really the only animal product I've been eating are eggs for a while now. But I'm not like, I don't know. I'm not a like start an intense conversation at the dinner table. I'm not, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's hard for anyone to argue for factory farming. Like, I think, I don't know, at least most people I know, I can only guess that they're like, yeah, that's horrible. They've probably seen something by now, because it's kind of a sensation, so to speak. But yeah, I don't know. I guess if someone were to ask me about it, I would just say that I don't eat meat because I don't like the idea of factory farms. And I definitely, I mean, I feel very different about meat is definitely not the same as dairy or as eggs. And I can tell that, like, my brother, he seems like in a different place where those things are like appalling to him in a way that I know that purchasing those things is, well, the vast majority of those things, purchasing them would be supporting these factory farms. So I don't make those, I don't put those on my grocery list. But I don't know. I guess you could say that it's more of a I don't know. I like veganism makes sense to me as it like I know some people are more, it's more of like a heartfelt thing. I feel like maybe I'm more on the side of I just don't think it makes sense to be I don't know, it just seems absurd the amount of factory farming that's going on and just like totally unreasonable. There's a clear like global scale impact that needs to be considered, and I don't know, I haven't dove into really feeling the weight of all of that suffering that the animals are going through and have gone through.
Yeah, I definitely feel you. I mean, everything is gradually. For me, it's almost impossible to think that someone can become plant-based from one day to another. And I can see that a lot of people just keep on consuming eggs because they don't feel like as guilt as if you would eat a dead animal, and just the way they put that animal through to get to your table. Basically, you're not eating dead. You're eating something that a chicken left right there, I guess. When I was little, I used to say that like people would always bully me why I wasn't eating meat. But I was, in a way, they would say, well, you're still eating meat because you're eating animal products. You're still eating dairy, cheese, eggs. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like me and the animals, we just like to share. Like the cows like to share their milk with me. And that was like my little story when I was little. But yeah, I think if I would live in a farm where, because as a matter of fact, like I grew up like that. I grew up doing the whole milk process to get the milk warm, but we weren't taking the milk away from the baby because the baby was already fed. And there was no guilt at all. But I guess now with the dairy industry and the meat industry is definitely very crucial. And not only that, but it's just all the other stuff that they put in the milk now. It's just harmful for your body. So, but I think if I was in a farm, I don't think I would be completely plant-based. I think I would be eating eggs and maybe cheese, yogurt. Who knows? Maybe yes, maybe no, but yeah, without harming the animals, for sure. And I know in India, they, I was doing research because I did an Ayurveda course a few weekends ago, and they even take showers. No, of they I guess they value the cow milk like if it was something very precious over your body. Like people even take showers of cow milk.
Yeah,
Like it's just healing and soothing for your body.
yeah. Actually, I have different approach. Like one place, one of the person from Ayurveda told, like milk is a poison. Other place they told like you have to really dilute and take it because you don't need that much. So I have like a mixed opinions, but definitely whatever they were talking, definitely they were not talking the today's milk with all those antibiotics and homogeneous. Definitely not that. Like so, and then yeah, actually the Ayurveda actually tells you about the body. Like what I understood is like you can even digest the poison, something like if you prepare your body in such a way, like the three main things they see is the Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. So the Vata is the airflow, the Pitta is the heat flow, and the Kapha is the fluid flow or the liquid flow in your body. So basically it's regulating these three flows in your body. So for example, if I am in a desert, like the noontime hot desert in maybe Arizona or New Mexico, my body goes into Pitta. So at the time I have to put more Kapha fluid into my body to counteract it. It's a kind of like a macrobiotic. So in that way, they pick some sources, what was available. Like, okay, if you don't have this, you can do this. If you don't have this, you can do this. So it's kind of like a range of products that you align up in that range. So then if you're really in a cold place, like then, for example, if you get a lot of cough and everything, then they recommend the Pitta or Kapha or the Vata, the extreme opposite. Like the one is the airflow, the flow of air. Another one is the flow of heat. And then this flow of the fluids. So if I'm a person very dry skin, maybe I need more Kapha. So if I have a problem digesting or if I'm too much fluid, I have to push myself to Pitta, the heat, so I can burn. Like, so it's kind of it's a relative state. Nothing is correct, nothing is wrong. But if I'm experiencing this, like that's why they say even I could be in a winter, it could be less than 0. But if I'm sitting inside the house and I'm blowing the heater, I'm more influenced by the Vata, which is the dryness, than the cold outside, which is Kapha. So I have to really take into consideration of what is locally influencing me. Then they prepare you. So in that, lot of animal products, maybe they came because of the regional access. That's all. But some of them, some of the rishis and all, the people who meditate and all, they got to the stage of not eating anything. Because what I understood is I met a couple of this sadhus in Himalayas. So what I understood from them is like, more you do things, more you're complicating things. So their one way of approach is don't do a lot of things.
I did heard about people that they receive their nutrients from water and the sunlight. That's all.
Yeah.
But they're really, really skinny. They believe that food is not, like your body is just not meant to eat any type of food. Almost like if we were like a plant, just receiving the photosynthesis and water.
Yeah.
But then how do they get their vitamins and their minerals?
So I exactly don't know the chemical breakdown of how they do. Like that's I'm taking that as a goal. Like you don't need a lot of things in your life, and first thing they come is in the mind. That's what I still don't know. I'm just trying to understand them. Like for example, you can do this fasting. You can just do 1 day fasting. Don't try to eat anything. Once you feel like you're ready, like I wouldn't say just do it tomorrow. So just once you feel like, yeah, I can do this, or maybe I can do a 6-hour fasting, I can do 18-hour fasting, something like that, or a half a day fasting. And you see that if you're calm, usually if you do fasting in the night, you don't need food. That's why you call breakfast. Because if your activity is low, you don't need anything. Whereas if you're really passionate, you're like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to. If you're there, probably you'll be craving for the food. So what I understood, there is a link between the mind and stomach or the guts. Because if you're very, very passionate of, I will do this, I'll do that, your stomach is throwing up acids, get ready, the engine is burning to then you might need more calories. That's why most of these people, they become dispassionate in the life. They are like, I know what it is. Like you could be very passionate saying, what happens if you keep traveling in the East? They will tell in a very calm way. One guy will say, I'm going to explore going and traveling in the East and I'm going to find out. Other guy will say, you will still land you will come back to the same place where you started. So that's the philosophy. Like one person is passionate about, let me go and explore. Other person is like, whatever you do, it's all experience. So when you go beyond your senses, the experience doesn't matter. So for them, but the person who cares for a sensory experience, they'll be like, no, I still want to find it. All right. That's like, there is an example they say, it's like until your battery is there, all the songs you can play, you can play videos, you can do anything, but once your battery is drained, it doesn't make any purpose. So they go into that hibernation stage of using a less consumption, like the heartbeat goes very slow. And then it helps you to relax, helps you to, like, that's why they give you the example of the lotus. The flower is in the water, it is also on the water. So the guy who is caught in the whirlpool will be so much stranded, and but a guy observing somebody caught stuck in the whirlpool will be much calm, because he hasn't looked from the outside than the guy who is stuck inside. So, but when you do meditation, you cannot, you are still stuck in the whirlpool. You have no escape from the reality, but at least you are realizing it, and you have a heart to, you have a mind and body to face that or understand that. So
Yeah, and I do meditate. I practice yoga, like I grew up doing all those disciplines, but I'm still a human. Sometimes I get caught up in the past, and
that's a precious thing. After you're learning all this, you'll be like, can't I be a human? Like, I just want to know what the suffering is. Because you'll get that immunity so much, and you feel like that. Because that's why they call it as it's a relative state. Too much plus makes you to crave towards minus. Too much minus makes you to crave towards the plus. So,
yeah, definitely. The book of Bhagavad Gita is beautiful. It has a lot of meaning. I learned a lot from it. Just learning about Krishna, and it's beautiful.
yes.
I know there's people that they just put themselves into a meditation mode and they get connected with the complete love in the outside world and your inside world. And they remain like that for hours, and all of a sudden they disappear. I don't know what process you call that, but they have the, what is it called?
Like in material world, everything is fallible. In a spiritual world, everything is infallible. Like it means that if I have to say, in material world, we step on each of our toes. It's little difficult. But if you have a spiritual outlook, you have a heart to forgive. You have a heart to see things in a different way than a material connection. So I know it's really hard. If somebody took your property, you'll not be happy. But if in a spiritual world, if your heart is really big, you'll be like, who cares? It's okay. That kid did something. It's okay. Like, let's say that there's one thought of distancing from the problem. Like, for example, Nolan, would you be happy if there is a line next to you in the room? Are you happy there is a line in some corner in Africa? Who cares? Because the line is somewhere in Africa. It's not. So what really makes is the relativeness of the problem in terms of time and distance. That's what makes it our problem. What we keep very close to our mind sometimes causes the problem. Like, so more you distance, and that broad-mindedness meditation gives you, or some people naturally have it. Some people train to have that. So they know the problem, they know about the line, but they could distance it. They're like, for them, they go beyond the Planck scale or whatever. The line can be still near, but they can be far. So even line doesn't care and you doesn't care. So that's a state they do, and I don't even know the exact term, but I can tell it as a relative term. They know you can go a millimeter close, still you can establish a eons wide space. That's like a state where you are able to distance yourself. When you distance yourself, you become part of the nature. So once you're part of that, there's no trouble, or there's no trouble felt, or your mind connects and intellect connects. So that's like coming back to the collective intelligence. Like you really go to the mainstream of a big mainstream. You are connected. Like,
my phone is gonna die. I'm gonna go to the bedroom and connect it. So I'll see you guys in a little bit.
okay. Yeah, probably I'm gonna go to, like, I have to wake up in a few more hours for another one. Yeah, I'm drowsy. I'll catch up.
All right.
See you guys.
Well, I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Well, I'm left to wonder if anyone else is still listening. Maybe on Twitch, we'll see what's up. I'm the only one watching on Twitch. Just watching myself. So I'm going to pause recording now.